Hey, what's up? Future me and digital me. I usually talk about politics, but uh, for this one, talk about something interesting that's, uh, on the one hand, going to sound, well, going to piss off some people, um, and all the way on the other end, going to piss off some people, going to be like, wow, that's awesome and totally cool, and then on the other end going to be like, dude, that's crazy and never going to happen to other people. So um, I was looking online and stuff and being like, because I was curious about CRISPR-Cas9. I'm like, has anything happened? Or uh, is there better technology for gene editing yet since CRISPR-Cas9 came out? And yes, there is. Future me, digital me. There is. More precise, more this, more that. And I was like, all right, fine, there is. Um, is there base editing technology on? Yeah. It's like, yeah, there is. Actually, they can do it now. There's companies out that can edit the base pair without needing to unravel it and snip away the base, and then ravel it. And they could just take out the base and then reconnect it. So it's like, that's pretty interesting. And so, yeah. So, if no one can do it yet, I'm betting pretty soon someone will be able to make a machine that can take the parts. I don't know if are they proteins? Are adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, whatever, ATGC. Are they proteins? I don't know, whatever. I think they're um, acids. I think they're acids. Um, I don't remember. Whatever they are, I think there'll be a machine where that can just assemble them. Boom, 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 boom. Just print the actual genetic code out where you will be able to actually write the software on a computer, for example, for life. You'll be able to say, well, this is the genetic code of a person, and I want to insert gecko hands. I want to edit it so that this person will have gecko-like hands and be able to have gecko hands. Now, that would be kind of bad in a lot of circumstances, but it's just an example. My phone just beeped. Fuck you, phone. Or a more applicable example would be that, you know, we want to crossbreed a gecko with a lizard that is completely not a gecko. That would probably be much easier and much more viable. Because putting it on a human would probably be a shitload trickier. Um, so, yeah, it would be way more difficult to figure out how to make the first thing work and be a viable, you know, beginning to end of development life form. Because I'm sure doing that, I'm sure the first attempt would be like, and then it would just die. But so that's where I was, and then I'm like, well, okay. Um, if you wanted to do something like that, the ethical thing would not be, well, let's do it, and then we'll put the embryo in a person. That would not be ethical. So we need uh, basically an artificial womb. And so I was like, artificial womb. Looked up for that. We don't have one yet, but we sort of do. Um, there's one that's in, that's approaching clinical trials, but it's not for the full, it's not for beginning to end. It's approaching clinical trials for extreme um, premature babies. Um, Premature babies are usually 24, 26 months, weeks, which is 6 months, 6 months to 6.5 month old, which is still very, very premature, but whatever. And I guess they're trying to be able to save the lives of something like um, the end of the first trimester to catch those babies and make them viable. So it's like when it's still a fetus, that's like maybe a potato, which up till now is just like fucking unthinkable. And so their artificial womb that at present is capable or whatever of keeping like a lamb fetus alive at that stage. And it took them like 3 years of research and development and I'm assuming failures to get to the point where it's, I guess, basically working. Um, so that's at the point they're working at now. And they're working up to the point where they want to get authorized for clinical trials in like 2026, 27, whatever they have to, whatever they have to do to meet qualifications for clinical trials. So yeah. And so my point for this basically is, if that technology can prove itself in clinical trials, Jesus, um, you know, and clinical trials are very risky, but there's probably going to be someone who's, a group of people that'll be willing to take the risk. I mean, once it gets approval and the medical associations and boards say, well, it does look like it actually has a decent chance of working, and if you can get the people to sign off on it, what the hell? If it actually manages to be able to bridge the gap between those that period and the standard practice, then there you go. Um, then that can be the new cutoff point. The uh, what would that be? 2 months. 2 months would be 12 weeks. So 12, 14 weeks. They would probably start at something like 16 weeks, and then once they have enough of them and they make the technology better and they can push it back to 14, maybe push it down to 12, it gets better and better, you know. That usually, if it starts at 16, they could probably push it down to 12. If it starts at 18, they could probably push it down to 14. Um, Something like that. And then maybe 4 years after that, we might be able to figure out how to take a fertilized embryo and go from a fertilized embryo all the way to a developed baby outside of a womb, all without needing. All you need is eggs and sperm. Just eggs and sperm, and then you don't need anything anymore. Just egg, sperm, and technology. Once you have that, you especially by the time you have that level of capability, of technical capability, I'm assuming that'll be at least 8 years from now. Once you have that, once it's 8 years from now, at least, the other stuff, the gene editing and stuff, will have matured again to where maybe you will have at least been able to transplant all this stuff and just be able to create almost entirely new life forms. And you can use that technology to just create an entirely new life form on your computer. Print it out. Whether you need an egg and a sperm or just print out the single cell and have it divide into the thing that it's going to become. And there you go. And of course, you can also make people better. Of course, that's always going to make other people radically nervous. You know, especially people that are religious. It's going to make them. I mean, if you think the religious right is nervous about shit now, that's just going to. Oh, that's just going to make them nervous, and then the people on the left are going to be like, yeah, that's. They want to create the master race and all of it. That's going to be people on the right and the left are going to be like blah 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 blah. You know, it's just like, yeah, well, on the other hand, Magneto said God works too slow, and that's kind of right. You know, I agree with him. Nature works too damn slow. Right, everybody, get in the pod. You're all too dumb. Get in the fucking pod. You will be upgraded. We got a DNA template for you. It's going to be injected through utilization of a virus. And when you get out, you're going to like the new you. You will be better. It's going to be like a very fancy new suit. And you're going to wonder why you objected to putting it on in the first place. A lot of people might have to be pushed into the pod. And when they come out, they'll be like, thank you. I'm glad you did that. They'll be like, we know. You're welcome. It was for your benefit and ours. Because we're dumb. And that's the diplomatic way of saying it, because damn. You were damn level dumb. I mean, damn. And now you aren't. You are. It's an upgrade, to say the least. It's like you were one of those computers from like the 70s, and now you make computers from today look like a snail. So, you know. Yeah. And that's just the brain component of it. Think of what else we'll be able to do. Sure. Maybe we'll just let those others stay behind if they want to. After all, it's free. I mean, you can, if you want to, be left behind. But why would you want to be? It doesn't cost anything. Why would we want to charge for something like that? Much more useful. We bring much more benefit to society after you get out of the pod. So just make it free. And because it's biotech, the cost is almost nothing. It's almost nothing. Anyways, you can either fear the future or you can embrace it. It's up to you. That's just a scary thought to some, and a brave new world for others. I don't know. Anyways, boobs.